Ooh, what's good, Commanders fans, and Victory Monday. I'm out of town, as you guys can see. I'm in a hotel. Didn't have time to go live for Victory Monday, but it's been a while, guys. It's been a while. It's been a while, and also shout out to BetUS. Make sure you guys sign up with BetUS, one of the best sports book and casino. BetUS. Make sure you guys check them out using promo code YouTube150, so you can get a 150% deposit match up to $2,000 on your first deposit using BetUS. So make sure you guys check them out. Excuse me. But yeah, it's been a while since we had a Victory Monday, guys. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time coming. 3-game losing streak. We got off the skid. Beat a team that we should beat, and we took care of business. They have a good defense. They have Jeffrey Simmons, Harold Landry. They got some guys, man. They were stopping the run. They were a top 5 run defense, top 10 run defense, top 10 passing yards allowed defense. They just beat the Texans. They stopped Joe Mixon in their run game. They stifled C.J. Stroud and made him have a tough game. And then Westbrook-Ikhine was cooking the Texans, and Calvert Ridley had a couple good games in a row before they played us, and Will Levis started to hit a stride. So, I mean, that was a good win. I don't care about the record, but a lot of people were concerned and saying that, oh, man, they have such a tough defense. We're not going to be able to run the ball or anything like that. So, no, I mean, Kliff did a good job. He was in his bag. Jaden was in his bag. We got the ball to Terry early and often and on the right side instead of just the left side, moving him around, moving him into the slot. Had 2 touchdowns. Almost had a hat trick, but was stopped on that 3rd and 2. Was very close to getting a touchdown, very close to the end zone. But great overall game for Jaden, and him putting the Rookie of the Year, not just to bed yet. For me, he put it to bed, but we'll see how Bo Nix does tonight. But he's definitely still in first place. Jaden's still in first place for sure. But he definitely quieted the noise, having 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown, 4 total touchdowns. Had a great game. Not a lot of incompletions either. Let me pull up the numbers too. But and Kliff having his back against the wall like that too, man. Where a lot of people were calling him out about the Kliff falling off a cliff and the slump after the first half of the season, which the numbers have proven to be true, even at Texas Tech, man. You can look at the numbers, and his number in Arizona, and the offensive numbers have gone down after the first half of the season. The win-loss record, the losses pile up after the first half of the season. So that narrative about Kliff, it's hard to argue against it, man, when you see the numbers and how many losses they have with Texas Tech and Arizona, and then you look at us and the way it was trending. I mean, it's like, the people the media or whoever, or fans who were questioning Kliff Kingsbury, I mean, it's like you couldn't really argue against it. And I thought he made adjustments. We were able to run the football. When we struggled to run the football against the Eagles, we struggled to run the football against the Cowboys last week, which was very surprising. It's just like, man, why couldn't we do this against the Cowboys? Why couldn't we do this? So that was the frustrating part to me about the win. But a win is a win is a win, and I'll take it. And we control our own destiny right now, guys. I think 2 more wins and you get in. I think 10-7 gets you in. The Buccaneers did win, but I still think they have an uphill battle to get to 10 wins. 11 really solidifies it, but I think 10. I think you win 10 and you get in. That's the way I feel like it will be. The Niners are down and out. The Rams, I highly doubt they make the playoffs or make a push. But let's get to what the video's about. Emmanuel Forbes did get drafted. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Not much, but I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. So Ian Rappaport put out a video before the game happened, actually, or before our game, talking about the Bears. He says the Bears now have a coveted opening and expect a wide-ranging search. They'll consider all the top candidates, including Commanders offensive coordinator Kliff Kingsbury, whose ties to Caleb Williams are obvious. So, I mean, the Bears, they're definitely going to make that call. I think they're going to bring Kliff in for an interview when the offseason happens. So just be ready for him to leave. During the slump, I was like, if he leaves, it is what it is. Maybe it's best to move on because of the slump. But I actually would like him to stay. And I wasn't out on him during the slump. I was like, there's ups and downs to the season. So I knew we were going to bounce back eventually. But, just keep an eye on that with the Bears. Obviously, the ties with Caleb Williams. I don't know if they ultimately signed. Like, if you think about it, he was supposed to go to the Raiders at one point, and he decided to back out of the Raiders deal and came to us. I forgot it was about the money or something like that. And then a couple years ago, he got interviewed by another team in the NFL. He ended up not going there after he was fired from the Cardinals. Then he went to USC, was the offensive assistant or whatever he was. I had a lot of input there. Took some time off from the game. Had a sabbatical after he got fired, and now he's back with us. But I think he's better suited as an offensive coordinator. If he really does want to go back to being a head coach, more power to him. I just think personality wise or leader of men type. We're not calling him. I'm not saying he's not a leader of men, but I just think after seeing the debacle with Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, maybe he's just better suited to be an assistant coach. Some guys, like you look at the NBA too, some guys are just better suited to be assistant coaches or offensive coordinators or defensive-minded assistant coaches in the NBA or in the NFL too. I mean, some guys are just better suited doing it. I think Kliff's one of those guys. I really do. I'm not saying he wouldn't be a good head coach, but I think he's better suited to be an offensive coordinator. Now, you look at the Bears. If he does go to the Bears with the whole left side thing, they don't really have a receiver that you would just line up. I mean, DJ Moore, I guess, but you got good receivers with Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze. You got Caleb Williams, who's a solid quarterback. So I think he would do well over there. I really do. I think he would do a good job over there. Who knows about the win-loss record type thing, but I think he would have a good offense over there. And you look at how the rush offense has improved. Like, everything's improved here from last year. We're running the ball a lot more. We're like top 5 in rushing touchdowns compared to last year. We already have more rushing touchdowns than what we did last year. We're running the ball way more. Bieniemy was just awful last year running the offense or calling plays. And we really have, when we win the time of possession and really dedicate and establish a run game, that's where we're basically unstoppable. Like, if you do look at the beginning of the season, how good Kliff was, we were doing some historical stuff in the beginning. Like, Tress Way wasn't punting at all. We were just going up and down the field. You look at the Bengals game, you look at the Cardinals game, you look at the Browns game, the no-huddle offense, the up-tempo offense, the college offense, as people were calling it, and hating on it. We were just moving the football. Eckler was running the ball well. B-Rob running the ball well. McNichols had a heck of a game against the Cardinals. Terry bowling against the Browns and the Bengals. So we were, through the first 4 games of the season, we were first in completion percentage, yards per attempt, third down percentage, first. We didn't miss a 4th down. We were 100% on 4th downs. A lot of that was with Jaden too. And B-Rob, rush yards, 3rd, offensive points, 2nd through 4 games. Points per drive, 1st, yards, 5th, yards per play, 4th, 3rd down percentage, 2nd, turnovers, 1st, offensive total EPA, 1st. So, I mean, Kliff was in his bag, and a lot of teams were like, oh my gosh, he's going to be a head coach again. So, I think he may leave. Let's see how the last couple of games end up, and I wish him the best. And, maybe we promote the Eagles quarterback's coach. He didn't do a good job with the Eagles as offensive coordinator, but at least we do have a guy who was in-house, who's capable and has done it before. So those are my thoughts on the Bears being interested in Kliff. And we know Bears fans, they hate us so much. They hate Jaden so much because, Jaden's the better quarterback and he is going to be the offensive rookie of the year. And they got to witness it firsthand, us beating the Bears as well. A lot of Bears fans are against it because of the win-loss record that Kliff has had and him falling off a cliff after the first 8 games. So I think this is where he will finally overcome it. You look at the run game that he's done with B-Rob and McNichols and Eckler, and also Chris Rodriguez. Throw Chris Rodriguez in the mix too, man. Chris Rodriguez was balling, and Kliff was in his bag this game too, doing different things, RPOs, getting Jaden out of the pocket. He tried to do a flea flicker, so he tried to mix it up. Luke McCaffrey on that 4th down. That was a big catch for Luke, getting Luke McCaffrey involved as well. I mean, Kliff's done a good job so far, man. Even though he had that bad slump through 3 games, he's done a good job so far, in my opinion. And once again, shout out to BetUS. Make sure you guys sign up using BetUS. Using promo code YouTube150 for 2,000 for a deposit bonus match, 150% deposit bonus match up to $2,000 for first-time users, and then your second and third time, you get a 125% deposit match using promo code YouTube50 on BetUS. Shout out to BetUS as always. All right, other things I wanted to talk about here real quick is Marshon Lattimore, what Dan Quinn had to say about Marshon Lattimore. Terry, so Jaden Daniels had a 144.8 passer rating when targeting Terry McLaurin versus Tennessee. That's just awesome. I mean, just get the ball to your best player, man. Make it simple. No more games like the Eagles game where you had 1 catch for 10 yards, or the Dallas game where we waited until the last 3 minutes of the game to get Terry the football, and then he scampers up the field for 86 yards for a touchdown. Like, that's inexcusable on Kliff. And some of that's on Jaden, but the most part, you got to manufacture touches for your best player. So a lot of that is on Kliff, in my opinion. Let's see here. So what do they say about Marshon? So Dan Quinn said He'll have a better assessment of Marshon Lattimore and the team later in the week, but we're certainly pleased with the direction Lattimore is headed. He's certainly trending in the right spot. John Kahn tweeted out, Dan Quinn said he's pleased with the direction that Marshon Lattimore is headed. We'll know a lot more this week. Said he's trending in the right spot. Basically the same thing. So I mean, he's trending in the right direction, man. So that's nothing but good news. JP Finley also tweeted out, nothing concrete, but Dan Quinn says Marshon Lattimore is certainly trending the right way to play Week 15 in New Orleans. And I think that's when Marshon's going to come back. I think he's going to want to play against his former team in New Orleans, kind of a revenge game, if you will. I don't think it really ended badly there. You know, he didn't really say that in the press conference either, but I guess like a homecoming game. If you don't want to call it a revenge game, you could call it a homecoming game. And Taysom Hill tore his ACL, man. I hate to see injuries like that, but I'm not going to act like that's not a help, man. I'm not going to act like that's not a help. So, I mean, I hate to see you, I would hate to see that. I hate to see injuries, but you know, we got to take advantage of them being down and out without Taysom Hill, because he's a legitimate weapon that definitely could have hurt us when we play the Saints the next week after the bye. All right, so that's good news for Marshon. I do think he's going to be back. If he's not back, then that is a big disappointment. If he doesn't play after literally 4 or 5 weeks and a bye week, then that is a red flag in my opinion. Then I will be with the people that are kind of in the panic mode, like, did you trade for damaged goods? And you know, because he's supposed to help out with this playoff push for sure. All right, that's about it on Marshon Lattimore. And then Emmanuel Forbes, he got claimed by the Rams, so good for him. So the Rams will take on Forbes' remaining guaranteed salary, while the Commanders will still have the rest of his prorated signing bonus on their books as dead money, $4.1 million in 2025. So, I mean, yeah, I wish Emmanuel Forbes the best, man. It didn't work out here. They see the talent in him. He's a former first-round pick. So just like Jamin Davis, when you're a former first-rounder, GMs, they see that, they know that, and they give you another chance. They give you another opportunity, especially in his second year. He's still very young. It's unfortunate to see a first-round pick released in their second season. That's really, really, really bad. Ron Rivera was really awful in his talent evaluation, and the Commanders just wanted to cut ties. I think they were done after the double penalty against the Buccaneers. They just gave up, and they wanted to bench him anyway. He got injured, so they kind of said it in a different way instead of just outright benching him. But who knows? I mean, maybe the Rams can work it out and get something out of him. You know, you just never know. So sometimes a change of scenery is best for a player. And it's crazy because I know the Cowboys reportedly had interest in drafting Emmanuel Forbes, and Dan Quinn was on that staff at that time. So it is interesting that Adam Peters was not on that staff. But it is interesting that Dan Quinn and Joey Jr. are already moving on from him, when reportedly the Cowboys did have interest in drafting him. But they see him every day. They see him every day at practice, and they were cutting ties already. And they said that Marshon Lattimore coming back is the reason why they released Emmanuel Forbes. So it's just a first-round pick wasted, man. I hate to call guys busts, but yeah, he is a bust. He's a bust. And DJ Moore went crazy on him. AJ Brown went crazy on him. A lot of people went crazy on Emmanuel Forbes and had career days against him. But like I said, as always, I wish the guy the best. I think he's a nice guy. I really do. And Ron ran to the podium and was just raving about Emmanuel Forbes, driving around in the car on the documentary, just raving. He just got enamored with the interceptions and the pick sixes, because that year we didn't force turnovers. And we needed somebody to force turnovers, so that's the big reason why Ron drafted Emmanuel Forbes, was to force turnovers, and he didn't do that. Except for the Panthers game, he got the interception on Andy Dalton. But as always, guys, you guys let me know what you guys think. I probably will go over PFF grades tomorrow, maybe, if I make a video, but I'm going to be very, very busy this week. I'm going to try my best to make at least 2 more videos this week for you guys during the bye week. And you guys let me know what you guys think. As always, let's enjoy Victory Monday. Hail Commanders. Shout out to BetUS. Peace.